students, myself Ranjita Das, lecturer in physics of Nalanda Vidya Mandir. Students, today we will start a new chapter, that is your optics. What we will study in this chapter? In this chapter we will study about light, the nature of the light, the propagation of the light and the production of the light. So everything related to light are discussed in this chapter, optics. So before going through detail of the optics, let us first try to understand what is light. Light. This is not a new word for you, but still, what is light? Which gives us the sensation of vision, due to which we are able to see every object surrounding us is light. All of you know about the electromagnetic spectrum. The series of the electromagnetic spectrum is your gamma ray, X-ray, ultraviolet ray, visible ray, infrared, microwave and radio wave. Okay, this is in terms of your increasing wavelength. So the visible ray, out of this, the visible ray lies between 4000 angstrom to 8000 angstrom. And in this region, we are able to distinguish the different colors of every object. The color we give, that is your 7 colors, can be distinguished in this region. And this part is known as your light. So now, what is light? Light is the part of the electromagnetic spectrum which gives us the sensation of vision. So, the part of the electromagnetic spectrum due to which we are able to see the things is known as light. Clear? So, what is light? Let us write down the properties of the light. Light is an electromagnetic wave. All of you are clear why it is an electromagnetic wave? Because the part of the electromagnetic wave helps us to see the different things. So it gives us so light is an electromagnetic wave. The light gives us the sensation of vision. Means due to light only we are able to see the different things surrounding us. Next, light is a transverse wave. Okay. The speed of light is c equal to 3 into 10 to power 8 meter per second in air. If the medium change, for different medium, the speed of light also change. If medium change, speed of light change. Next, the light has both particle and wave character. So light is having, it is told that the light is having dual nature. This we will study in the next chapter, the dual nature of light or dual nature. Okay, so the light is having both particle and wave character. So these are the properties of the light. All of you are clear what is light and what are the properties of the light? Next, let us come to different terms related to light. The terms which we will use regularly while studying optics. All the bodies, whatever it may be, basically divided into two categories. All the bodies are divided into two categories. One is luminous body, another one is non-luminous body. What is luminous body? The body which is having its own light and it gives light or it emits lights of its own. Then it is known as luminous body. Can emit its own light. Okay. It may be natural luminous body or it may be artificial luminous body. What are natural luminous body? Sun, star, etc. are the natural luminous body. And artificial luminous body, these are the man-made bodies which can emit their light. Bulb, burning candle, etc. Clear? So what is luminous body? Which is having its own light and it can emit the light of its own is known as luminous body. Then what is non-luminous body? The body which is having not its own light, or the non-luminous body can only be visible when luminous body emits light or gives light on it. Has no light of its own. We can see the non-luminous body when the light from the luminous body falls on it. Example, everything that is your sand, wall, wood, all these are non-luminous body. Everything which is not having its own light is a non-luminous body. So all the bodies are divided into two categories. One is non-luminous body, another one is luminous body. Okay. Next, let us know what is medium. What is medium? Through which the light can propagate. Through which the light pass or propagate. The medium can be three types. The medium can be three types. One, transparent. Transparent. What is transparent medium? If all the light can pass through the medium, then it is transparent medium. If whole of the light pass, total light can pass. Example, glass, distilled water, etc. Another type of medium is translucent. Translucent. What is this medium? A part of light can pass. A part of light can pass. Total light cannot pass. Example is frosted glass. Frosted glass, oil, paper, etc. And another type of medium is opaque medium. Opaque medium, through which no light can pass. No light can pass. Example, wood, wall, etc. Clear? So the medium is three types: transparent medium, translucent medium and opaque medium. If all the light can pass through the medium, then it is transparent medium. If a part of the light can pass through the medium, then it is translucent medium. And if no light can pass through the medium, then it is an opaque medium. Okay. Next, what is ray? What is ray? when the light is considered as the transverse wave, so whenever the light is traveling, it is assumed that the light travel in a straight line path. So the straight line path of the light is known as ray. Path of light is known as ray. It is denoted as a straight line with an arrow mark. The arrow mark shows the direction of propagation of the light. Okay, this is a ray. Clear? Next, beam. A bunch of ray. Or a bundle of ray is known as beam. The beam can be wide beam. It can be a narrow beam also. Okay, the beam can be a wide beam or it can be a narrow beam. Next, pencil. Narrow beam is known as pencil. If a beam is very narrow, then it is known as pencil. It can be three types. 1. Convergent. What is convergent? If the rays are moving towards each other, or we can say if the spacing between the rays goes on decreasing, if the rays are going to meet at a point, then it is convergent. Here the rays meet at a point. Here always a real image is formed. When the rays actually meet at a point, a real image is formed. Okay, so this is your convergent ray. Next, second one is your divergent. Divergent. What is divergent? If the spacing between the rays goes on increasing, if the rays cannot meet at a point, okay, then it is divergent ray. Here the rays appear to meet. What do you mean by appear to meet? If they are produced in the backward direction, then they will meet at a point like this. See, this is. So these do not meet actually, they appear to meet. Here always a virtual image is formed. Virtual image is formed. This is your divergent. So all of you clear what is convergent and what is divergent? Convergent, if the rays actually meet at a point, or if the spacing between the rays goes on decreasing, or if the rays move towards each other, then it is known as convergent. Divergent, if the spacing between the rays goes on increasing, if the rays move away from each other, or if the spacing between the rays goes on increasing, then it is known as divergent ray or divergent beam. Third one is your parallel beam. What is parallel beam? If the spacing between the rays are equal, so equispaced rays is known as parallel. They never meet at a point. These rays never meet at a point. Okay, so all the rays are divided into convergent, divergent and parallel. These terms we will use while we will study physics, optics. Remember, the arrow mark is very important while drawing the ray diagram, because the arrow mark shows the propagation of the light or the direction of the propagation of the light. Next, let us come to optics, the main part of our chapter, optics. So what is optics? Study of production, nature, and propagation of light. Is known as optics. So it is the branch of physics which deals about the study of light. That is known as optics. The optics is basically divided into two parts. One is your ray optics. Another one is your wave optics. Ray optics is also known as geometrical optics. And the wave optics is known as physical optics. In the ray optics, we will study, or the light is considered as the light is moving in the form of corpuscles. Here we will consider the straight line path of the light. The first, it was explained by Newton's, and it is known as Newton's corpuscular theory. So the ray optics basically obey Newton's corpuscular theory, or here the geometric is considered, the light is considered to be moving in a straight line. So this part is your ray optics. The instrument used here are lens, mirror, prism, etc. Here we will study reflection, refraction, all these things we will study in this one in detail. What is wave optics? Here the light is considered to be in the form of wave. Light is traveling in the form of wave. It was first explained by Huygens. So it obeys Huygens wave theory. Here we will study interference, diffraction, polarization, etc. The instruments are Young's double slit experiment, Fresnel's biprism, and in the diffraction it is single slit diffraction. All these things we will study. So first we will study the ray optics in detail, then in the next part we will go to the wave optics. In the ray optics we will study first reflection, then your refraction. Okay. So let us start our ray optics. The first part of the ray optics is reflection. So before going to reflection, whenever light falls on a body, three phenomena occur. What are they? A part of the light can be reflected. A part of the light can be reflected. Reflected means returning of the light into the same medium. A part of the light gets absorbed by the body, and another part of the light is transmitted or refracted. So three phenomena occur. One is reflection, absorption, and transmission. The absorption, whenever a body absorbs, then heat is produced. So this absorption part we have already studied in your 11th or first year, that is in the chapter is your heat. So here we will study the reflection and the refraction. So let us start. What is reflection? What is reflection? The basic thing all of you know. Reflection is nothing but the returning of the light into the same medium from where it has been originated. So if the light will fall on a polished surface, then it will return into the same medium. This is known as reflection. So returning of the light into the same medium is known as reflection. Reflection is generally two types. One is regular reflection. Another one, irregular reflection. What is regular reflection? If the polished surface is smooth, Then when the lights fall on this surface, the rays gets reflected and all the reflected rays are parallel to each other. So if the reflected rays are parallel to each other, the reflection is known as regular reflection. If the surface is not smooth, suppose this is the surface, so if the light fall on this surface, then the rays after reflection are not parallel to each other. Then it is irregular reflection, or also known as diffused reflection. Okay, so the reflection is two types. One is regular reflection, another one is irregular reflection. In the regular reflection, the reflected rays after reflection are parallel to each other, and in the irregular reflection, the rays after reflection are not parallel to each other. Okay, then let us come to some terms related to reflection. Suppose this is the mirror. The mirror is, let us give it name M1, M2. Let a ray of light is incident. At the point of incidence, let this is the point of incidence. Let this is O. This is P. At the point of incidence, let us draw a normal. What is a normal? Which is perpendicular to the plane of the mirror. Okay. Then the ray gets reflected. This is the reflected ray. Okay. So this is the incident ray. This is the reflected ray. This is the normal. The angle which the incident ray make with the normal is known as angle of incidence. I is angle of incidence. The angle which the reflected ray make with the normal is known as angle of reflection. R is angle of reflection. Okay. If the mirror is not present, then the ray would have travelled through this path. Okay. So due to the presence of mirror, without going through this path, it has been deviated to this path. So this angle is known as angle of deviation. This is angle of deviation. Angle of deviation. Okay. The angle at which the ray is incident, that is the angle made by the incident ray with the mirror, is known as glancing angle. These are the terms related to reflection. All of you clear? What is, which one is the incident ray, which one is the reflected ray, what is angle of incidence, what is angle of reflection, and what is the angle of deviation? Next, let us come to laws of reflection. Laws of reflection. There are two laws of reflection. First law, the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal all lie in a same plane. And another law is the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. This is the polished surface or your plane mirror. This is the incident ray. This is the normal and this is the reflected ray. This is angle of incidence I, this is angle of reflection R. Okay, so what is the law? Angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. The angle at which the incident ray fall is equal to the angle at which the ray is reflected with the normal. So angle of incidence is equal to angle of reflection. Second law, the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal all lie in a same plane. Let this is the plane of the mirror. Let this is the plane of the mirror. Let a ray is incident like this. Let a ray is incident on the mirror is in this plane. The ray is incident on this point. Then this is the normal and this will be the reflected ray. So in which plane it will remain? If this is the plane of the mirror, if this is the plane of the mirror, then the incident ray, the reflected ray and the normal all will lie in this plane. Clear? Incident ray, reflected ray and normal all lie in same plane. Okay, so these are the laws of reflection. Next, let us come to plane mirror. How the image is formed in a plane mirror. What is the nature of the image formed in a plane mirror? Image formed by a plane mirror. Let this is the mirror M1, M2. A ray of light, this is the object. A ray of light incident, this is the normal, gets reflected along this one. The angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection according to the laws of reflection. If a ray falls normally, if the ray falls normally, it will get reflected normally. Why? Because if the ray falls normally, then I equal to 0. If I equal to 0, then R equal to also 0. So the reflected ray and the incident ray are along the same line. These two reflected rays diverge from each other. As you can see in the diagram, this is one reflected ray, this is another reflected ray. In order to get the position of the image, we have to produce the rays in the backward direction. So let us produce it in the backward direction. Okay, so these meet at a point. Suppose this is the object and then this is the image. Here the image will be formed. P, R. This is your angle I. So this is also your angle I. Okay, this is your angle R. Then this is your angle R. Now let us compare these two triangles. What are they? From triangles M1IP and triangle M1OP. M1IP triangle and M1OP triangle. What we can write? M1P is common side. Common side. Angle I M1P is equal to angle O M1P 90 degree. Angle I M1P is equal to angle O M1P, that is your 90 degree. Then as I equal to R, this angle is I, this angle is R, so this angle is equal to this angle. Clear? angle M1OP is equal to angle M1IP. So now these two triangles are congruent. If the two triangles are congruent, then triangle M1IP is congruent to triangle M1OP. So I can write IM1 is equal to M1O. What is IM1? The image distance. What is M1O? That is the object distance. So object distance is equal to image distance, or the distance of the object from the mirror is equal to distance of the image from the mirror. Object distance is equal to image distance. Okay. So what are the nature of the image formed? Nature of image by plane mirror is the reflected rays are not meeting at a point, they appear to meet. So first the image is virtual and erect. Next, the image object distance, we got it, object distance is equal to image distance. Next, magnification equal to 1. What do you mean by magnification? The size of the image in compared to size of the object. So size of image is equal to size of object. The image is laterally inverted. Laterally inverted. That means the left will look as the right and vice versa. Okay. So what are the nature of the plane image formed by plane mirror? The image is virtual and erect. The object distance is equal to the image distance. The magnification equal to 1 means the size of the object is equal to size of the image, and the image is laterally inverted means if you will see the left, it will look like right. All these things practically you can see in your plane mirror. Okay. Next, all of you are clear? The angle of deviation by a plane mirror. Angle of deviation in a plane mirror. Let this is the mirror. M1, M2. This is the incident ray I. This is the normal N. This is the reflected ray R. This is angle of incidence I. This is angle of reflection R. If the mirror is not present, then the ray would have traveled through this path. So this is nothing but your angle of deviation D. Right? Now see, this is a straight line. O. This is a straight line. So if this is a straight line, then I plus R plus D equal to 180 degree. Clear? I plus R plus D equal to 180 degree. I plus R plus D equal to 180 degree. But already according to the laws of reflection, we know that I equal to R. So I equal to R. So I can write 2I plus D equal to 180 degree. I equal to R. So D equal to 180 minus 2I, or we can write pi minus 2I. So what is the angle of deviation? Angle of deviation equal to pi minus 2 I. Next, let us take 2 common. So what remain? Pi by 2 minus I. What is pi by 2 minus I? See this one. This is 90 degree angle between the normal and the mirror, and this is your I. This is your glancing angle G. So G plus I equal to 90 degree. So G equal to 90 minus I. 90 minus I means pi by 2 minus I. So that is in place of 90 minus I can put G. So D equal to 2G. So what is the angle of deviation? Angle of deviation is 2 times the glancing angle, or the angle of deviation can be written as D equal to pi minus 2I. Okay? Then next. What will be the angle of deviation if 2 plane mirrors are at an angle theta? If 2 plane mirrors are at an angle theta, then what will be the angle of deviation? Angle of deviation if 2 mirrors are at an angle theta. Okay, let this is a mirror and this is a mirror. Okay, suppose this is M1, M2. This is angle theta. A ray of light incident on the first surface of the mirror. Let at this point, this is the normal. The ray gets reflected and it incident on the second mirror surface. At this point, let this is the normal. The ray gets reflected along this path. Okay? So this is the angle of incidence I1. This is the angle of reflection R1. The ray falls on the second mirror surface. So this is I2 and this is R2. Let this point is A, B. If the first mirror surface is not present, then the ray would have travelled through this path. Clear? So now this is the angle of deviation D1. If the second mirror surface is not present, then the ray would have travelled through this path. So this is the angle of deviation for the second mirror surface D2. So what is the total angle of deviation? D equal to D1 plus D2. We already know that D1 equal to, in the previous one we have derived, D1 equal to pi minus 2I. So D1 equal to pi minus 2I1 and D2 equal to pi minus 2I2. So what is the total angle of deviation? D1 plus D2, that is equal to 2 pi minus 2I1 plus I2. Now let us find out what is the value of I1 plus I2. This is your N. Okay. Now see in this quadrilateral AMBN, in AMBN quadrilateral, this is your 90 degree because this is the normal. This is your 90 degree because this is the normal. All of you are getting clear? This is 90 degree and this is 90 degree. So these two angles add to 180 degree. So what are the remaining two angles? M and N. So M plus N must be equal to 180 degree. M plus N equal to 180 degree. Or angle M is nothing but our theta. Theta plus angle N equal to 180 degree. Now let us see in this triangle ABN triangle. In ABN triangle, angle A plus angle B plus angle N equal to 180 degree. Okay? Angle A plus angle B plus angle N equal to 180 degree. What is angle A? R1 plus what is angle B? I2 plus angle N equal to 180 degree. R1 can be written as I1 because by the laws of reflection I1 equal to R1. So I1 plus I2 plus N equal to 180 degree. Give it equation 1, give it equation 2, give it equation 3. Now compare 2 and 3. Comparing 2 and 3. What we will get? 180, 180, N. So what remains? I1 plus I2 equal to theta. Clear? So I1 plus I2 equal to theta. Now put this value in this one, in equation 1. So what we will get? D equal to 2 pi minus 2 theta. So what is the total angle of deviation? Total angle of deviation is 2 pi minus 2 theta. So the total angle of deviation depends upon the inclination of the two plane mirror. Clear? Next is, what is the size of the mirror required if we have to see the complete image of an object? In order to see the complete image of an object, what is the size of the mirror required? If a person wants to see his own image complete, then what should be the size of the mirror? Size of the mirror to see the full image of an object. Okay, this is the size of the object AB. Size of object. This is the mirror placed on the front wall. This is the wall. This is M1, M2. Now when a person is able to see his full image, if every ray coming in between these two, A and B, will fall on the mirror, then we are able to see the full image. So let us draw the ray diagram. Suppose this is the eye. Incident ray, reflected ray, incident ray and sorry. This is the incident ray and the reflected ray. Let us produce the rays in the backward direction. So here the image is formed. The image is formed. A dash, B dash. This is, let you see, D. Okay. Now see. AB equal to A dash B dash, because size of object is equal to size of image, and AC equal to CA dash, because the object distance is equal to image distance. We have already derived it. So now as the object distance is equal to image distance, AC equal to CA dash. Write down here, A dash B dash equal to size of image. What is our target? Our target is to find what is the M1, M2. What is the size of the M1, M2? So AC equal to CA dash. Now let us compare these two triangles. A dash C M2, A dash C M2, this triangle, and A dash AE, triangle and A dash A E. These two triangles. This angle is equal to this angle. This angle is equal to this angle. This is the common angle. So the two triangles are similar. So this triangle is similar to this triangle. That means the corresponding sides are proportional to each other. Let us write down the corresponding sides. So CM2 divided by AE, CM2 divided by AE equal to A dash C by A dash C by AA dash. Clear? I have compared these two triangles A dash CM2 and A dash AE. These two triangles are similar. So the corresponding sides are proportional to each other. Now A dash C by AA dash is equal to CM2 by AE. Okay. What is CM2? CM2 by AE is equal to A dash C. What is A dash C? Half of AA dash. Right? Because the size of the object is equal to the object distance is equal to the image distance. So A dash C by A dash is nothing but 2A dash C. So what we get? CM2 equal to half of A. Okay? Similarly, if I will compare these two triangles, what I will get? DM1 is equal to half of BE. Now let us find out what is M1, M2. Now the CD is equal to AB. So put it here. DM1 plus M1, M2 plus CM2 equal to AE plus BE. Right? This one plus this one plus this one equal to this one plus this one. So DM1 is half of BE plus M1, M2 plus CM2 is half of AE equal to AE plus BE. AE plus BE. So M1, M2 equal to, take it that side, half of AE plus BE, that is half of AB. That means what we got? The size of the mirror must be half of the size of the object. Okay. Next. So what we got? In order to see the full image of an object, we have to take a mirror which is half of the size of the object. Let a person is standing in a room, and if he wants to see the full image of the back wall, then what is the size of the mirror? Size of the mirror to see full image of the behind wall for a person standing in middle of the room. Okay. So let us draw the ray diagram. Suppose this is the room. A person is standing in the middle. This is AB. He wants to see the full image of AB. Let this is the size of the mirror M1, M2. Now when he is able to see the full image of the wall, if every ray will reach the eye, so if every ray will reach the eye, then he is able to see the image. So what will be the image? Let us produce it in the backward direction. Let here the image is formed. A dash, B dash, CD. Let this distance is your length of the mirror. So this much is your L by 2. Let this is X and X, the size of the mirror. Let the total height is H and this is H by 2, the height of the wall. Okay. Now see, this is E, O. Let us compare these two triangles. Which two? M2EO triangle, M2EO triangle and BDM2 triangle. This triangle and this triangle. BDM2 triangle. These two triangles are similar to each other. This angle is equal to this angle and these two are 90 degree. So the two triangles are similar to each other. Triangle M2EO is similar to triangle BDM2. So the corresponding sides are proportional to each other. So what are the corresponding sides? OM2 by DM2 is equal to OE by BD. Right? OM2 by DM2 equal to OE by BD. What is OM2? X. What is DM2? DM2 is H by 2 minus X. H by 2 minus X. What is OE? OE is L by 2 divided by, what is BD? L. That implies X. 2X equal to H by 2 minus X. That implies 3X equal to H by 2 or 2X equal to H by 3. What is 2X? That is the size of the mirror. So M1, M2 equal to H by 3. So all of you clear? In order to see the back wall complete image, in order to see the image of the back wall, for a person standing in the center of the room, he has to take a mirror which is 1/3 of the size of the wall. Okay, next. What will happen if a mirror will rotate through an angle theta? Rotation of mirror. What if a mirror will rotate through an angle theta? Let this is the position of the mirror M1, M2. This is the incident ray. This is the normal. This is the reflected ray. This is the angle of incidence I1. This is the angle of reflection R1. Okay. Let the mirror is rotated through an angle theta. Now this is the position of the mirror M1 dash, M2 dash. It is theta. So what will happen? The normal will also rotate through an angle theta. N2, let us write it as N1. So this angle is theta. Now for the same incident ray, now this is your I2. Okay, this is your I2 for the second position of the mirror, the angle between the incident ray and the second normal. And what will be the reflected ray? This will be the reflected ray. Let us write it as R1 and this is your R2. Let R1, angle between R1 and R2 is X. And what is the angle of reflection R2? R2 is, this is your R2. All of you clear? Now, let us find out if a mirror is rotated through an angle theta, then how much the reflected ray will rotate. From the laws of reflection, I1 equal to R1 and I2 equal to R2. What is I2? What is I2? I2 is I1 plus theta. I1 plus theta is equal to, what is R2? R2 is nothing but your R1 plus x minus theta. R1 plus x minus theta. R1 plus x minus theta. We already know that I1 equal to R1, so this cancel. So what we get? X equal to 2 theta. That means if a mirror is rotated through an angle theta, then the reflected ray will rotate through an angle 2 theta. If a mirror is rotated through an angle theta, the reflected ray will rotate through an angle 2 theta. Okay, so today what we have studied about the light, properties of light, what are the different terms related to optics, what is optics, what is ray optics and what is wave optics, then what is your reflection, what is plane mirror, how the reflection occur in plane mirror, and what are the different questions related to reflection in plane mirror. Okay, so in the next class we will study about the spherical mirror and the mirror formula. Hope all of you are clear about all the things. So go through the video in detail and be clear. Thank you.